What's up, YouTube? We are live. We are Straight Facts, homie. We are in the States, and it's an international mess with the New England Patriots. We will get into it right now because I YouTube, we are live. We are Straight Facts, let homie. Me mute that on my end, and I believe we are ready to go. Here we are in three, two. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, into the one and only Straight Facts, homie, an NFL football show, TV show, podcast, way of life coming your way. My name is Mason Souza. There's Walter Sabina and John Lyons talking about Octung, baby. I don't know. The New England Patriots fall to the Indianapolis Colts over in Frankfurt, Germany. Hope you all enjoyed your pretzels because it was a disaster on Sunday morning, and we'll react to that right now. We are live on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo is where our full videos can be found as well. We invite you to join us in the conversation on YouTube. Voice your frustrations, your concerns. If you have any answers, maybe we'll send it to the Patriots because it doesn't look like they have it. Like I said, again, there's Walter and John. How are you guys doing? Hope you enjoyed your schnitzel on Sunday and that mess of a Patriots game.
Yeah, so I'll take the floor here.
Please do.
I've always given Mac Jones the benefit of the doubt. Last year with the coaching and how it kind of broke him coming into the season, giving him the benefit of the doubt this season because of the lack of talent at offensive line to give him protection and give him time to pass, because of the lack of talent and the inability for those guys to create separation and make things easier for Mac Jones. I've even given the benefit of the doubt through 9 weeks when we were 2-7, thinking just give this guy talent. And then you watch the game today, you watch what Mac Jones does. He goes through his first read, and once he doesn't commit to his first read, it doesn't get rid of that ball. He tries to scramble around and eventually ends up getting sacked. And you saw it in the game today. There was one replay of Bill O'Brien just absolutely lighting into Mac Jones. Like, you have to hit this guy. There was film of a game, whether it be last week or a couple weeks ago, missing Mike Gesicki on a seam. And like I said, for so long, I've given Mac Jones the benefit of the doubt. And then we get to the fourth quarter and Mac Jones throws that absolutely god-awful excuse of a pass that ends up being an interception. It's supposed to go to Mike Gesicki in the end zone, but he throws it literally 10, 12 yards, what it looked like underthrown, an easy interception for the Colts. And that left me and many other Patriots fans scratching our heads as to, what is this guy doing? He's not going through to his first read. He's not throwing to his first read, even if they're open. He just wants to tuck it and run. He did get a 16-yard run on one scramble, but far too many times this guy is not going past the first read, most times because he can't. And again, that was one of those things I gave him the benefit of the doubt for. Just making terrible throws and terrible decisions, scrambling to his right, trying to throw back to his left, try to give him the benefit of the doubt there because of lack of talent. But after the performance I saw from Mac Jones today, it's time to stop giving him excuses and giving him the benefit of the doubt and just commit to saying he's not the quarterback of the future for the New England Patriots. And, it's your first round pick. You wanted this guy to come in and elevate the talent around you. He's a guy that's not going to make the talent around you better. And I haven't seen one time this season him make any player around him better, not even 1% better. And like I said, today's performance just kind of put it over the top. You have 340 yards of offense. You're running the ball well, and you score not one touchdown. And that's going to be put on Mac Jones. You're the starting quarterback. You have to make things happen on this team. And he didn't. And, that showed in the final possession of the game when Bill, whoever's decision it was, Bill Belichick mostly, put Bailey Zappi in the game because Mac Jones was either not making the throws, not making the correct throws, and not going to put his team in a position to win that game. So Bailey Zappi comes in, he ends up throwing an interception, but you know what? At least he tried throwing the ball downfield and putting a ball where his players can make a play. Granted, it was triple coverage and things happen, but to ask a quarterback like that to come in on the final possession, warm up with a couple of passes, it's tough. But when your starting quarterback is doing the things he's been doing repeatedly for the entire season, I'm giving up on Mac Jones. I don't think he's the quarterback for the rest of the season. I don't think he's the quarterback for the future of the New England Patriots. And I think we need to start looking in another direction. I know there's lots of stuff to talk about the rest of the game, but I just needed to get that off my chest with Mac Jones because it's very disappointing watching this guy continue to fumble games away that we could possibly win.
Guys, I'm going to give you a German phrase here, okay? It's Schwenken Sie die Weber Flagge. Any idea what that means?
We
Wave the
suck.
white flag. That's what the Patriots offense did today, and that's what Walter's doing with Mac Jones. And I'll tell you, I agree with Walter in that I've defended Mac Jones plenty of times. And look, you can make the case over the last 2 years, Mac Jones has had the worst setup of a quarterback in the NFL. The coaching situation last year, the offensive line, lack of talent and execution this year, the lack of receiver talent this year. But guys, we've talked about this before. Independent of all that, he did not play well last year, and he's been wildly inconsistent this year. And today, much like against Dallas and much like against New Orleans, he killed them. I mean, they got 6 points on offense, 3 scoring opportunities because there was a missed field goal total in this game. The Patriots defense held the Colts to 10 points. The Colts have been averaging 26 a game coming into this. Patriots defense holding to 10. The most they can get is 6. And look, with this offense, and you guys know we do a post-game show every week, it's always something different, right? Sometimes it's the turnovers. Sometimes, like last week, it's balls hitting off receivers' hands. Sometimes it's the bad offensive line. Other times it's Mac. Today, it was a combination of a lot of things, but the offensive line was awful in pass protection. They were great in run blocking. I actually thought the run blocking was great. They were awful in pass protection, and Mac Jones was just, he killed them. He really killed them. That interception he threw as Mike Gesicki's breaking wide open in the end zone might be the single worst interception of his career. I still maintain that the interception in week 2 that he was trying to target Devontae Parker, is the Patriots' worst offensive player of the year, because not only was it bad by Mac, it was awful by Parker, but that individual pick might have been Mac's worst pick. And let's not forget, before that, Walter, you mentioned Bill O'Brien yelling at him on the sidelines because he missed not 1, but 2 open receivers for a potential first down in a red zone situation. Like, he's taking sacks instead of throwing the ball away. He's making bad decisions. He's late. I mean, there's no other way around it. Like last week, I thought he was fine. This week, he killed him. And if it was just 1 week that he killed him, hey, everybody has a bad game. But catastrophic turnover against Philadelphia, catastrophic turnover against Miami in week 2, killed them against Dallas, killed them against New Orleans. Pretty wildly inconsistent with a catastrophic turnover against Miami a few weeks ago, right? And then again today. I mean, this is a consistent thing. Their offensive line has been terrible pass protecting. He's been a close second, and I completely understand why they made a change, and I'm not going to be surprised, guys, if the rest of this year he never plays again.
Wow. Excellent start for both of you. I'll continue on the Mac Jones commentary by going to Bill Belichick. Less than 2 minutes left in a foreign country. A man was riding the pine, cold as all hell. Bill Belichick, it almost seemed like, and he was asked this question leading into this game. Do you feel like you are coaching for your job? So that is out there. That is, who knows? People may say that is outlandish. That's crazy. Robert Kraft would never fire Bill Belichick in season. Maybe he would never fire him in general. But the talk is out there. The question was actually asked to the coach. The balls of the reporter. Kudos to ask that. So it's out there in the open. It's in the atmosphere. With that being said, it almost seemed like the final possession, Bill Belichick was playing for his career, and he gave the ball to Bailey Zappi. He's like, Mac Jones is not touching this ball again. I need a score, and I'm giving it to anyone else besides Mac Jones. My goodness. And like, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, you just look at the box score, like, oh, whatever, 15-20, blah, 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 safe plays at the line of scrimmage. But you guys said it, like, You can't get the ball in the end zone. And it's not just this one. You can't do it against the Cowboys. You get shut out at home against a bad Saints team. It's been brutal. And we talked about it all last season with the Patricia and Joe Judge fiasco. Like, you set Mac Jones back. That is not an excuse for how Mac Jones looks this year, in his third year, in his crucial year. I look at guys like Sam Howell last week of the Commanders. I look at guys Gardner Minshew of this week, backup quarterbacks, severely outplaying Mac Jones. And it actually kind of makes me sad for the guy, because I'm looking at him like talk about playing for your career. Mac Jones, I don't think you have one, honestly, coming up, not even as a backup. And that sucks to say. Who knows if he's even going to make it to a second contract, which is crazy to say. Maybe in a new location, his career can be revitalized, but he is broken. And we've used that phrase a couple times this year about the offense is broken, the quarterback is broken. It's a long flight. It's a bye week. I'll pose a question after we go around the room again regarding that, but things are a mess. I put it in the description of this of the YouTube channel in the first quarter. It's gone from bad to worse, and now it's just flat out ugly. It's an ugly situation with the New England Patriots organization, and who knows what shoe to drop is next.
Yeah, and several times just throughout the game in my notes, I wrote down, why are we not just running the ball? The amount of times I saw us break, a 6, 7, 8 yard run, maybe a little bit more than that. Ezekiel Elliott, I thought, played really well today. Ramondre Stevenson, slow start, but he started to get going as the game went on, and the offensive drives moved as the run game got going. And they said it, Rich Eisen said it several times in the broadcast, Mac Jones likes play action, but they haven't gotten the run game going this year. Well, I mean, okay, they got the run game going, but again, this comes back to Mac Jones, but we all kind of said our piece on Mac Jones, so I'll let that lie. But there were a couple times right there in the third quarter, right when on the drive they missed the field goal, you had 3rd and 2, and you had been running the ball well. You had 3 straight runs with Ezekiel Elliott while Ramondre Stevenson was getting worked on the sideline. And you're gonna pass on 3rd and 2 when the run game has pretty much gotten you to where you're going. That's on Bill O'Brien to know. Like, we're fans at home watching the game, seeing the run game work, and you as an offensive coordinator should know, maybe let's run the ball and punch it in there. And like other times throughout the game, I thought they could have just run the ball as well. So as much as Mac played terribly, I thought there were some coaching mistakes in terms of running the ball when they decided to pass it. And it comes down to not executing, when the plays are called, and not calling the right plays when they should be. So like I said, I wanted to see them run the ball more. I actually wrote down they should have not run the ball at all in the second half. Be like Michigan on Saturday. They didn't run the ball once in the second half and they won the game. Excuse me, they didn't pass the ball once in the second half and they won the game. I shouldn't have seen the Patriots. They should have done what they did to the Bills a couple of years ago and just run the ball every single play and feed Ezekiel Elliott, feed Ramondre Stevenson, because it was working. The pass game wasn't working. Continue to do that. And I think that's another reason why you lost the game. You could have avoided any of this by Mac Jones if you just continue to run the ball, something I've been calling for several weeks now.
Yeah, and one of the issues is when they tried to do play action, they had no protection, and Mac ended up getting sacked. They got sacked on their first 3 third downs in this one. And, guys, I'm at the point now where I feel bad for this Patriots defense. Patriots have played 10 games this year. Defense, in my mind, has played well enough to win at least 7 of them, maybe 8. And the one that I put in the maybe is last week against Washington, because they only gave up 20 points, but they did give up 9 of 17 third downs. So they weren't great, but still only 20 points. But at a minimum, they've played well enough to win 7 games, maybe 8, and you have 2 wins, right? Like, this offense has killed them, but I also don't want to let the special teams off the hook, right? Because look, one thing we thought before the season, hey, they're moving Joe Judge back to special teams. They drafted a kicker and a punter, right? They signed Chris Board. Matt Slater's coming back. Their special teams were awful last year. Well, they should be better this year. They're just as bad. I mean, they had the costly penalties last week. Chad Ryland, and I know he's a rookie, and I don't want to be too hard on a rookie, but look, you draft this guy in the 4th round. You could have picked DeJuan Jones. And for those who don't know DeJuan Jones, he's the starting right tackle for the Cleveland Browns right now. And he's played better than any right tackle the Patriots have had before they put Mike Onwenu out there. So you could have drafted him. Instead, you took Jake Andrews, Barringer, and then, of course, Chad Ryland in the 4th round instead. But, it's a whole side issue. Guys, 12 of 17 on field goals, and he misses one inside of 40 yards today that would have totally changed the game. And then you have the punt block where you line up with everyone up to block the punt, no returner, so it ends up being a 69-yard punt because you don't get there, which with this offense, I mean, does anybody believe they're going to go over 70 or 75 yards to score a touchdown? It's just so, like, it just feels like they are making offensive mistakes and they are compounding them with special teams mistakes. And really, whatever can go wrong on offensive special teams is. So again, look, I know the offense is the biggest problem and I feel bad for the defense. I talk about special teams on this program because I believe it's important, and I don't want to let these guys off the hook either because they've been pretty much just as bad as the offense this has been this year for most of the year.
That's John Lyons. There's Walter Sabina. I'm Mason Souza. You're watching Straight Facts, homie, as we're reacting to the Patriots falling to 2-8 for the first time since Bill Belichick first took the reins as a head coach in the New England Patriots way back in 2000. Speaking of years, this feels like the early 90s for our fans that are in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. Of Patriots fans. Going to the comments here on YouTube before I pose a question to both of you. Jason, have you ever seen a quarterback getting pulled before a game-winning drive? And I'm glad he brought that back up. We were talking about it. It was shown on social media that Mac Jones was going to the X-ray room after. I think a lot of people are seeing right through that, calling that BS. Who knows? We'll see. But it almost seemed like save face, like, he was injured. He wasn't pulled. But I think we know. You guys can answer that question. And then Shane, of course, Giants and Pats in the oh my God bowl. No, I don't want to see that. I agree. Same with Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to everyone. We get the Broncos and Patriots. Yeah, I'll just leave that at that. My question to you guys, and yes, to answer Jason's question, I've never seen that. A healthy quarterback that played the whole game, 58 minutes, gets benched for the backup. No, that's
I was
crazy.
also 100% fine with that, though. I mean, that was the possession.
Sure.
Technically, that was the possession after Mac threw that horrible pick.
Correct.
You'd scored 6 points. And might I say, look, I know Zappe threw a bad interception too, but that pass he threw to Hunter Henry to convert the first down earlier in that drive, I thought was better than any throw Mac had the entire game. So, look, I know this is a bad team, so bad teams do stuff like this, but it's unusual, but I really had no problem with them putting Zappe in there. And I'm not a big Zappe believer, but I mean, I had no problem with that.
Yeah, I had no problem with it either because I knew he was going to try to sling it and try to make something happen. I mean, you say that pass to Hunter Henry, hell, even that pass that was the interception is probably better than any pass that Mac Jones threw today. So, yeah, it would have been funny because Belichick would have been continue to be called the greatest coach of all time had Bailey Zappe marched that team downfield and they scored a touchdown, and the scenes would have been wild. But I'm just curious to see now if Bailey Zappe is going to be the guy going forward after the bye week.
We could go 60 full minutes on this disaster itself, but in the interest of time, I want to ask before we move on to everything else, week 10 in the NFL. This is the kind of situation on bad teams, which, spoiler alert, this is a bad team we're talking about, where something drastic happens. A big move, a firing, a benching. Does something like that happen on this team? And if so, what happens?
I think it's going to be the Bailey Zappe move to starting quarterback. I mean, we've seen now for weeks. Again, this is us as fans, never mind coaches and players in that locker room. We're seeing that Mac Jones isn't the guy to get it done. And he specifically the last couple of weeks, he's not making the throws when they're there. He's more worried about where his stance is in the pocket. You can see quarterbacks that like move around the pocket to give themselves more room. He's turning, ducking, looking where the guy's coming from and trying to take off. He beat Bales way too early for my liking. And at least Bailey Zappe will stand there, try to make the throw. He may not be the biggest quarterback. He may not be, the strongest, fastest guy out there, but I know he'll sit there in the pocket and try to make the throws. He might get them batted down because he's on the shorter side, but we've got to change something because I think if we were looking at the coach, I think Belichick's whatever happens, I think it will happen in the offseason. I think the move to make right now is something at quarterback and see if you can just get something out of Bailey Zappe, because even if he's not good, guess what? You're still embracing the tank. You're still fighting for that, one of the top 5 picks. And I think there's some good talent in the top 5, but like I said, overall, make a change at quarterback. I think that's the thing that's going to most likely to happen.
Yeah, I think it's the quarterback, and I don't know if it's Bailey Zappe. I don't know if it's Will Grier, but I think you make a change at quarterback for the rest of the season because who knows? All right, what if all of a sudden we all get sick with Zappy fever again for the last half of the year, and you have some there. But if not, I still think he gives you right now. Like, I think Mac Jones is a more talented player than Bailey Zappi. I think in neutral situations, he probably would be a better player. But as bad as Mac has been and as shell shocked as he looks at times out there, I think right now Bailey Zappi just making basic plays gives you a better chance to win. So I would make a change. And again, I'm open if they think Will Greer is the better guy, I'm open to Will Greer. But I think you make a change. I know Adrian Clem is out right now with some sort of personal issue, and obviously we hope he's okay. If he comes back and their offensive line still struggles, I wouldn't be shocked if you have a new offensive line coach either before the end of the year or after this year pretty quickly. But I think in the short term, I think the quarterback is the spot where you make a change and you do it right now.
So Robert Kraft was at like a Patriot fan party before the game in Germany Saturday night, saying, quote, getting a win is critical. And obviously, Robert Kraft speaks in, a little bit of hyperbole from time to time. But man, I just want to say I don't think Bill gets fired this week, but I think there's going to be some news, as in reporters getting put on their investigative journalism hat, or maybe it doesn't come until next Sunday, week 11. Like, how they have the Jay Glazer kind of report at 12 o'clock before the games. Like, something's going to come out, I think, where they're like, yeah, they've tuned out the coach, or anonymous player says, we can't wait for coach to get out of here. Something like that. Because I do not see a light at the end of the tunnel for this team. I think it only gets worse. Infighting, John, you mentioned it in the pre-show, saying like you can't imagine how the defense feels right now. Will there be some infighting on the plane ride back as we speak on a Sunday night? And obviously, once this airs, this is Tuesday. Maybe news already came out. Who knows? But I think we will get some news that some messy things behind the scenes have been going on. With that being said, like I said, we could do another 40 minutes on this, but in the interest of time, the Patriots fall to 2-8, and yeah, it's not even as good as that sounds, and that doesn't sound good at all. There's John Lyons and and there's Walter Sabina, and I'm Mason Souza. Let's go move on to everybody else in week number 10. Thankfully, thank you for everyone on YouTube for following along for the first quarter. Follow us along next week as I don't know, the Patriots, can they get a win against the bye week? I doubt it, but we'll find out. For everybody else, let's tune in. Second quarter, Straight Facts only. Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate you all chiming in. Talk to you next time.